reality check. So this is all about, from a week one perspective, the fact that digital is the business. So over the next 10 weeks, I'm going to share a series of short conversations about something that every organization is now facing, whether they realize it or not. And that is the new reality of digital dependency. And each week, I'm going to start with a simple visual insight that is going to be posted on LinkedIn. And then I'm going to follow it up with a short podcast conversation where we, and I use the word we because it won't always be me, explore the idea a little bit more deeply. So think of this as, let's say, a 10-week exploration of the digital world that we now operate in. And across the series, we're going to look at topics like why digital is no longer just a channel, the fact that it is business itself, the explosion in digital transactions and ecosystem complexity, the ever-growing concept of digital risk, why downtime is now a boardroom issue, the challenge of seeing and understanding what actually happens across the internet, and then ultimately how organizations can build true digital resilience. So each week I'll also be wearing a slightly different hat, and literally and figuratively. Some weeks I'm going to speak from the perspective of someone working in the tech industry. Other weeks I might wear the hat of a business leader or a customer. And even we may have some customers on or partners on, or even just an everyday digital consumer, because the truth is, this isn't just a technology conversation anymore. This is a business conversation. And that really brings us to the first release that we made this week. Digital is now the business. The first reality check is very simple. For the last 20 years, we've talked about digital transformation. Companies have built websites, they've launched mobile apps, they've connected systems, they've moved infrastructure to the cloud. Digital was something that was supporting the business, and then something fundamental changed. Today, digital is now the business. And you could say digital transformation was a great success. So your website is your storefront, your mobile application is your customer experience, your APIs are your supply chain, your cloud platforms are your operating model. And the scale of that digital activity is now staggering. Some estimates suggest that by 2028, digital ecosystems could process around 20 trillion transactions every single day. Now that's almost an unimaginable number. If you think about it though, it's every click, every payment, every login, every customer interaction, all happening across an incredibly complex web of cloud providers, SaaS providers, internet service providers, APIs, third-party services, and networks that organizations themselves just don't control anymore. And that leads us really to the first big question of this series. If digital is indeed the business, what exactly happens when digital stops? Because when your digital experience fails, it's not just an IT problem anymore. It's now a revenue problem. It's a customer trust problem. And increasingly, it's a board level risk. And yet many organizations still have very limited visibility into how their digital services actually perform across the internet itself. I mean, they can see their own infrastructure, but the modern digital experience stretches far and wide beyond the boundaries of the traditional network. And that's exactly what we're going to be exploring over the next few weeks. Because understanding digital performance, digital risk, and digital resilience is becoming one of the defining leadership challenges of this decade. So that's Reality Check Week 1. Now, the key takeaway this week is very simple, and that is that digital is no longer just a channel for business. It is the business itself. Every customer interaction, every payment, every login, every service, they all now depend on a vast and increasingly complex digital ecosystem. And that ecosystem is evolving incredibly, and it's doing it fast because something else is happening at the same time. And I think all of you know what that is. A new wave of AI-driven applications, automation, and machine-to-machine communication which is beginning to shape how digital systems operate, how traffic moves, and most importantly, we're moving into a world where AI agents will be talking to other AI agents. Applications are already exploding in scale, and automation is becoming embedded everywhere. And that shift is fundamentally changing the way networks behave, perform, and need to be managed. So, next week in Reality Check, week 2, we'll be exploring exactly that. How AI is reshaping network traffic, infrastructure, and the digital experience itself. Because if your network strategy hasn't evolved yet, well, there's a very good chance that your risk profile already has. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time in week 2. And maybe, just maybe, I might have a special guest. Thank you.